Looks like Nico's been legged. He could catch some flak from the nade. Oh, he does get tagged down from the shrapnel. Still alive. Still kicking. Jack's quite the opposite. Shiro neutralizes the wide swing, and it seems like that's taken a little bit of the pace out of this from G2. Shiro tags up his teammate, I think. She's just on the edge of the smoke, and it's enabled Nico to hit the wall bang. Burnt down to a crisp, eventually finishing the job, but G2 aren't done. Yeah, you said, look at Nafany, he is on the flank. I'm sure it won't be considered at this stage in the game. It's still 60 seconds on the clock, and they're already going to have contact.
Oh, what?
He actually hits it! Neutralizes the threat, not even a no-scope. He gets his eye to it just in time. And now they can pause. Take your time, because that was about to be a round ender. Take your time.
This is crazy. They're rotating all the way back over towards B. Axel can beat them there, but there's still 40 seconds left on the clock. You mentioned time, plenty of it for G2
He's got a smoke. They'll have to run through grey screen if he does deploy it.
It's just, are they going to go with the pace here? They don't have any nades left of their own, and Axel would hope that he can get into a close position towards that site. He's worried that somebody's come in during all of this rotation. You can see all the corners that he's having to clear.
Okay.
He's on his own. There's no rotation close. Shiro is miles away towards connector. Intis is still over towards A. It's all on Axel.
15. Denying the plant his primary objective here. Lots of sound cues. Found. Oh, Nexa neutralizes. This looks like 15. Saved by the Bell. Saved by the Amanek. Shutdown. Nafany was there in a 4v3. And just like that, momentum shifts. Again, G2 now looking like 15 is a guarantee.
It looks like Shiro's hanging around here to try and do a bit of damage, but we were talking about all the extra cash. Yeah, sure, he has it, but not everybody on his team does, so he cannot go down here. He'll be required to drop a gun in the next, but this is secured right now, and the fact it literally comes down to the fight with Amanek and Nafany. We were looking at Amanek's POV. He wasn't looking that direction until the very last second. Okay, well, Shiro is going to take the AWP out of Amanek's hands. Hunter can pick that one up. They are doing damage here, just a little bit of financial woes, but all in all, that's 15 on the board, and now it will be 3 consecutive rounds required just to take Gambit to overtime here. Gambit are looking like they're in a bit of hot water right now. No more saves out of them. They will need to start going for some of these retakes.
Didn't manage to save that AWP. The bomb blast just pushing it a little too far away from Hunter's sticky fingers. But yeah, G2, they've got 4 rounds, and they've had to work damn hard for them on this second half. All the hard work on their first has translated them into an opportunity. 3 opportunities, in fact, to take their map pick here. No gap in the smoke. Nafany has a glance, and the run boost should be possible for Shiro to have the info on Jax just yet. Axel, what are you up to?
It's missed.
Take a pot shot, has to retreat. Understandably so. Nexa surging forward, a moth to the flame. Nade on the nose, not too much damage to report. They're up mid. 3 players of G2 starting their crawl. And smoke's going to start to fade here. Amanek, you got the bomb on your back. Jax alongside for the ride.
Oh, this timing is impeccable.
Just as they looked away, just as they maneuver away.
An open runway.
Yeah, Hobbit's tucked in sandwich. Look at this, completely contact. Nafany's still staring the wrong way. They don't have a clue. Shiro's going to have a look. This could be perfectly timed. Spots one. This is it. He should go down. This is a chance for G2, the biggest one. They can't let this slip. Up against Gambit. Nico caught sleeping. They both walked into it. 3 frags in a matter of seconds. Jack's low 2. Trying to recover. Bomb down. They're scrambling now. Hunter on low HP. He's going to have to apply his trade with the AWP. Axel up from connector. Oh boy, oh boy. 35.
They're not doing it again. Hunter's going all the way back around to B one more time. They've already pulled this trick off twice. They might get away with it a 3rd time. Jax is still on the site completely selling this. Nafany and Axel are not aware of this at all. Yeah, Hunter's getting into B for free.
Yeah, this is actually amazing. Jax is just going to sell this just by existing. Couple of jiggles, a couple of bullets. Didn't spot anyone.
Oh, Jax might get Nafany here. The timing on this.
It's very close. Hunter to plant. Uncontested. Nafany's already through market. Hunter cannot die. If he dies immediately, careful. Careful.
Definitely spotted.
Definitely, and it's going to be a freebie for Nafany. Does he run for the defuse?
Did it.
No kit. It'll be a 10-seconder. Jax has got to have to run. It's not planted for him.
I think he's saving.
He's just saving it out.
Oh my God, what a round. What an absolute round right there. That Hobbit double as well was gifted to him. Nico's in his crosshair. The second player drops in. And that same trick again. The same trick again. Nafany this time, you fool him twice. It's not getting away with that 3rd time. Oh, it's so close.
I thought they had it, dude. Oh, man. Jack's going CT as well. Like, if the timing's just a little different, he catches that tail of Nafni crawling.
Oof. Well, we go again. Nico into a creek here. The SG's out. There's no AWP for Amanek, even though there was cash to do so. So with the rifle setup, let's see if they go heavy back towards this A split. Looks likely out top mid. Shiro's found Hunter. That's a freebie right there. 4v5 early.
Doesn't this just reek of overtime? Oh, yeah, a bit flustered now.
Feeling the pressure.
Nice dink, though. Hobbit trying to collect. Nico's Krieg, very good for this fight. He should be able to find another if they challenge. They did. And a flurry of frags. G2 just taking duels and winning them. Shiro, it's only Shiro. Amanek's found another as well on the rifle. Nico and Amanek double frag galore. Nothing for Shiro now. Bomb ticking. Oh, his chances dwindle with every passing second. They go wide and G2 will take it. Hard fought. Gambit solid resistance, but exploited. Sensational first half. And G2 pull it across the line in the second. 16-13. Vertigo next. And G2 one map away from the semi-finals.
Our current strengths as a team, I think it's, first of all, our individual skill. I think our skill ceiling is pretty high. And then I think we developed a pretty good system and team play that we have. And I think one of the deciding factors for us is the atmosphere and the mood we have in the team, because when the mood and like the atmosphere is really good and super high, we all are able to perform at our best levels.
Never die. Fading as we push through the darkest times. I'll be there by your side. We are.
Do you think you know everything about CSGO? Then stay alert and look out for the DHL drop quiz on the ESL CSGO Twitch channel. Because as soon as the question is asked during the stream, the clock starts ticking. You will have 60 seconds to type your answer in the chat using this format. And keep in mind, speed is important at DHL. So the faster you answer correctly, the more points you get. Keep track of how well you are performing on the leaderboard. Will you manage to make it to the top and win one of these amazing prizes?
Shiro and company can't get it done. It's G2 that lock it in on Mirage. Did get a little closer than they would have liked. Too close for comfort for some, but for us, we get to turn our attention to the DHL drop. We all know what time it is. You all know what you have to do. Exclamation point, DHL drop space, whatever the corresponding letter of your answer. And believe me, you're going to want to take some time with this one. This is a difficult question, so make sure that you are ready to answer this one in full. The Lanxess Arena, in which IEM Cologne would normally be played in, is nicknamed the Castle of Counter-Strike, the Church of Counter-Strike, the Cathedral of Counter-Strike, or is it the Sanctuary of Counter-Strike? Now that's exclamation point DHL drop space, A, B, C, or D in the Twitch chat. And that just about does it for that. Again, DHL drop, shout out one time. We'll be going over that answer at the end of the segment. And now we start to talk about and look at some of the answers that need to happen here for Gambit in this series. It's a big one for them, and G2 have to be feeling pretty good, Yanko.
Oh, absolutely. Finally getting, you know, a map win even against Gambit. Now it's on LAN. And also, I think the manner in which they managed to grind it out at the very end. Sure, they had a big lead, but Gambit was coming back. You know, I'm sure in the back of their minds, it was like, oh, not again. Surely we're not going to lose this one. And they do manage to close it out. And I think it was great for G2 that usually the things that we see happen to them, they managed to do it to Gambit this time around. And I'm talking about those force buy wins or even the eco wins, especially in the first half, right? They lose both pistols, but they managed to get that early control of the economy. Here we see it after being down 1-0 in the first half, a good read, stack towards the B bomb site, and they just take care of business here. I think this was the biggest problem for Gambit, alongside one other thing, uncharacteristically for them. Like that first half, there was really a lack of variety from Gambit. Mostly it was just a slower default. How many times did you see Nico posted up on the middle of that mid slope, right? And an extra teammate in connector or in window, right? And they were just dismantling that default from Gambit time and time again.
Yeah, I think it echoes what Malik said in an interview to Frankie, right? He talked about the fact that they needed time to adjust to how Gambit were playing Counter-Strike, and it really feels like this map encompasses all of these adjustments they had to make. Like, they were almost always in the right position, mostly on their CT side. They were finding these timings mid-round to aggress Gambit, to punish them with the lack of pace that Yanko is putting out. So for G2, what's actually quite insane, and this was a high-level game of Counter-Strike, where almost everything that could have gone for them went for them, and still a 16-13. And this is what happens when you play Gambit. You could have a perfect, almost perfect game of Counter-Strike, and you still have to sweat to the very end.
Yeah, an almost perfect half, right? You look at how this kind of played out in the long picture here, the long run, rather, not the long picture. I don't know if there's many of those. Yanko, does this spell trouble in this series for Gambit?
Well, I think it does, in a sense of hopefully this is, you know, a bit of a mental reset for G2. Right now they're having the confidence. They're probably saying to each other, right, oh, on LAN we can beat them, right, we can do this. It's not the same as it was online, but I think Maniac was spot on. Even with all these things going for them, it was still a very close affair. Shiro came online in the second half, having a lot of impact on that AWP. So moving on to Vertigo as the second map, one of the best maps for Gambit. This is not over by any stretch of the imagination.
Look, we're going to a third. We're going to a third for two reasons. First of all, I don't expect G2's game plan to be as polished, as perfect as it was on Mirage, because definitely there was some work put into this. That's not going to be the case on Vertigo. Even though it's a good map for them, we're not going to reach that level. The other thing is that Gambit have already proven time and time again at that event that they can lose the first map of a series and just smash their opponent on the second one.
Run it right.
They've done it twice already with absolutely no remorse, not looking back. So if you're Gambit, they've already given us the insurance that they can bounce back. It's fine. They have, they're level-headed. They have the fortitude, and they're going to go into a Vertigo full of confidence.
Yeah, and that third map being Inferno, of course it is. It's always Inferno on the third map. That's what we look forward to. You also looked forward to that DHL drop answer, and I have just that. The question was the Lanxess Arena in which IEM Cologne would normally be played is nicknamed what? And now that you've put your answers in chat, let's find out.
It's the 7th edition of Counter-Strike Global Offensive at ESL 1 and the 4th consecutive year right here in Cologne. We've already trimmed the 16 teams to just 8 as we head into the playoffs. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cathedral of Counter-Strike. This is ESL 1 Cologne!
The Cathedral of Counter-Strike. Who would have ever guessed it? If you chose that answer, then, well, guess what? You were right. For us, we get to guess a little bit more as to who's going to be picking up this series on the back end of the break. We got to go to a break. We're going to come back with Vertigo, the second map, Gambit, G2. One team's going to the semis, one team's going to the quarters. This is the Intel Extreme Masters, y'all. We'll be right back.
He's going to get that shot, and it has to feel a little bit going out middle of the air. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. He takes every single one from nothing to the AWPAs.
I can't believe he's just done that.
Epics.gg official CSGO trading card. Collect your Epics on shop.eslgaming.com.
I'm Chad Sponge Virtual, and this is my Prime 6. 2018, with the dominance from Astralis, Glaive defined how the modern era of Counter-Strike would be played and is played today. I think somebody who's a strong leader, a strong personality, who can play the hero, he can play the villain. He is the type of individual who can get any 4 players of this caliber together and create a star team. Every in-game leader needs a strong right-hand man, and I think there's no one better than Mr. Consistent himself, Device, the AWPer of the team. Most people would be expecting there to be a rifler as that individual in that role, but I think Device, in the way that he approaches the game inside and out, probably the best player to ever touch the game and not get a first within HLTV.org's world rankings. He does it by the book, and he makes it look good. Somebody who is a safe pair of hands on a bomb site, who can also, under pressure, bring out those clutch rounds, those magic moments that nobody's seen before. Coldzera in 2016 and 2017, back-to-back years, the best player in the world. He's won 2 times major MVPs. He's just an absolute legend of the game, and to have him on this role, in this position where he needs to lock things down, he's a great player for the job. There are a lot of good entry fraggers to pick from all the years who are blunt objects and you can send them in first, but I wanted something a little bit sharper. Now, Nico is the one I've gone with here for the entry fragger role. Not too many people would be expecting that. He's normally a second or third man in, with an in-game leader and a foundation and a team behind him, like Glaive, like Device, using that aim, using that aggression to his advantage, knowing that he has people behind him who are as equal skill and can trade out. I think unleashing Nico, he would be an absolute beast knowing that. It's the biggest name, and it's maybe the most controversial name for a lot of people, but Simple, in my opinion, is the greatest player to ever touch Counter-Strike. And when you're looking for your X factor, when you're looking for your star, his name is always going to be above everybody else's. Consistency, sure, it's definitely there, but it's not Simple's, frags that he's putting on the board. It's what he can do within rounds as to why I'm picking him. Somebody who, if you give him a deagle, he's likely to always, get you 1 kill. But if he finds himself in one of those magical Simple moments, he will break the other team. So for the coach, we need someone with a big personality. They need to have a big stature within the community, a bit of pedigree about them, and somebody like Zonic is perfect for this role. Now, winning 4 majors with Astralis, that's one thing, but being a legend of the game throughout 1.6, having some history, actually being well respected by all of the players in the scene. When you're looking at the personalities in this team, it's a necessity to have someone who's not only a smart Counter-Strike mind, but someone who the players respect, and I think everybody respects Zonic.
We're looking to separate Gambit and G2. We welcome you back as well. Already 1-0 up. G2 managed to convert their map pick. Mirage a bit wobbly for the Gambit boys, admittedly forging quite the comeback, a close affair. And now as headsets prepare to be going on, fist bumps to be exchanged, myself and Sponge hanging out to bring you Vertigo. Now, we were just talking before the mics went live about Vertigo and the fact that it's not actually a map we get to see Gambit playing all too often just because it's taken away from them.
Yeah, it's a very strong map for this team, but it's one that, look, it's not necessarily one that they're always picking into. They have a very diverse map pool, right? Yeah, 93% in the last 3 months. That's pretty tidy. And just if we focus in on this matchup, we were speaking about the fact that these guys have played in 4 series this year. Right, in those series, there's only been 1 map so far picked up from that of G2, make that 2 now that they've won Mirage. Vertigo has featured in 3 of the 4 series, and every single time Gambit have toppled them on that. So plays a big reason in why they're likely to pick back into this. But I would say G2, their Vertigo's been looking pretty tidy. See if those little maneuvers that they've got going. They've opted to start here on the T side. Let's get this one underway. Gambit, G2, all the marbles here. Vertigo, will Gambit bounce back, or are we done with a quick one?
Alrighty then. Love this map. Looking forward to seeing Gambit's masterclass in it. 15 played in the last 3 months and only 1 blemish on the record. Got G2 though with the 1x bet odds leaning their way, understandably so after Mirage went their way. Let's see if Gambit can start as they need to go on. Mid. I do like this from G2. They've been doing this even in the gunnies, so keep your eyes on their mid goes. They can smoke off the sandbags cross, elevators denied, and then just swing into that B site. That's always just an option though, Nafani, to receive them. That's Nico v Nafani, and the smoke's actually gone towards T-Spawn. Interesting now. CT Spawn, do excuse me. Now Jack's surging forward. There's so many bodies. Great movement to at least isolate Nafani, and he does behead him. Another chance. 2 for 1 exchange. Gambit get the better of them, and it's not quite over yet. Hunter, slight gap in that smoke. If Nexa could just hit this shot long range, now the site is open for business, and a 2v4 becomes a 2v3 with the bomb about to go down.
Have some flashes here for Inters to help enable this. They might be quick on this, Gambit.
Hunter's pushed up close. Just going to be a test of his metal now. Oh, just as he looks away. Good find from Hobbit, and it's the end for Nexa as well.
That's 3 out of 3 pistols for Gambit so far within this series. So they've been looking hot on the pistols. Now, first map, they lost the Force Buy in round number 2. Let's see if they're able to steady here. Going to be a necessary evil, I think, if we want to see Gambit picking up some confidence. You saw Nafani on the cameras in the early stages getting loud, trying to fire the team up. They're going to need more of that here. Now, a couple of little notes here with the G2T side. Hunter is the man you want to keep your eyes on over towards the A bomb site. Once he gets that scaffolding control, his lurks and his prowess with looking for picks over towards A is one of the highlights, I think, for this G2 side. They've opted in for a force buy behind that plant. A couple of Galils, Mac-10, a Deagle, and they're trying to set up here for an early B presence. Lobby being taken, Amanek just walking on through. That Molotov they've thrown is enabling the push, and they might just set up for a quick B piece.
I think the flash will stop Axel, but he still unloads his mag, as does Inters, and both with lethality. Hunter, Amanek, down and out of round 2 already. G2 were trying to start with a bang. Galil's in play. The bodies just keep lining up. This is the perfect weapon for the job. Axile keeps him at arm's length. Long range, elevated position, just the tippy top of his head. Jax with a wrist breaker has at least managed to keep it a little bit competitive. He'll tuck in and hope they hunt, but this is Gambit we're talking about.
Is Jax aim the best for an old boy?
Oh, yeah.
Jax is 29
100%.
now.
And he's even got a chance onto the second. I still remember that ridiculous transfer he did on Nuke. You remember that one? Like hut to sight in a blink of an eye in like 2 frames.
He's crazy. He's crazy. He's great at these off angles. That little, I think that's an echidna out for Axel. We'll get the check on which type of animal it is, but it does look spiky. So he's got his little friend there to help him on out.
A hedgehog?
Oh, it's a hedgehog, not an echidna. Did I get a bit?
I don't know what you're saying. It sounds like, is that a CS team?
Do you guys not know what echidnas are?
Is that like Akuma's coach or something?
I don't know what an echidna is.
What the bloody hell is an echidna? What is that? That looks like a Pokemon.
Yeah, okay. I thought it was.
Okay.
I thought everyone knew what echidnas were.
I'm guessing his nickname's like Hedgehog.
Okay,
that
yeah,
fluffy hair.
I think you're right. That does ring a couple bells. I think I've heard Frankie talking about the hedgehog before. But this is just a couple of pistols upgraded in. 2 Deagles, 2 P2 Fitties, and a Glock.
Hedgehog. It does sound weird now. I've said it so many times.
We used to have a thing called Hedgehog Slice.
Sounds like a, I don't know, a name like from the Terry Pratchett universe or something. Oy!
Who's Terry?
Terry Pratchett?
Yeah.
Discworld Chronicles?
I think our world's colliding here. I think me being on the bottom of the globe and you being at the top, we missed a few references.
The whole backwards. And I'm personally upset they haven't taken
Animal cruelty
the tag
there.
off. Like, the poor guy.
Someone get some scissors. Cut that one out. Or
It's
maybe
a 2-second job.
Maybe he hangs it around.
Yeah.
Carries around.
Puts it through his ear,
Yeah,
maybe?
maybe. We'll have to ask Axel some questions about the Hedgehog Echidna in the future. But here we go. Gun rounds. Guns are out. 5 AK-47s. Warp out for Shiro, of course. His sugar daddy in the server. Lining that one up time and time again.
He needs to play that simulator. Jack's on his islands. He likes to play mid through that. And the boosted up Hobbit. How diligent are his protocols for his mid clear? So he clears the close one side. Axel has already caught out the B player in Almanek. Jack's cleared one side. Is he going to even bother to contest the other? Not quite. Axel looking very flirtatious with some aggression here.
Yeah, assisted there by those flashes of Inters, right? That is enabling those peaks, and Inters has one more to go for another little looky-loo if they would like. But back over towards the B bomb site, Nexa is pivoting. Now they have the lobby control and they have enough utility to go for a very well orchestrated execute. You can get that molly back towards the quad position, molly default, the smokes to cotton off that air composition. And Nico with that smoke, that's the lurk smoke to get scaffolding control. So that will hold anybody at bay looking for info, right? If you swing out Crane, you have to worry about the one-way.
Yeah, and that's typically the role we'll see Hunter doing. It's actually going to be Nico for now. Rejoins the forces. So into the site against Axel and Inters to react. Here comes the util. Axel extinguish and swing. Actually mantles up. He's been spotted. I'm surprised he hasn't caught a single bullet just yet. G2 charging in. Very loud about this, and hiding in the smoke is Axel. He will go down. If they find them both, G2 have recovered. A competitive round starting to take shape. Trying to deny. Look at him go. Nafany just drives straight in. Gets the frag he demanded. Shiro will find an easy one onto Jax. We've got a 2v2 here. It is just going to be the two cousins. Brothers in arms. Equipped with AKs and a scrap of health for Nico. It's a headshot angle, though. It won't be easy for Shiro to hit this, but he has managed to drop a little bit of a bad smoke. Great tap from Nico. He can play the time now. And Hobbit's chances dwindle with every passing second. What's he supposed to do? He'd love to do some more damage. And Hunter's not having any of it. That's the big conversion. And that tap onto Shiro did some serious, serious work. It could have got very awkward. A bit of a weird smoke as well from Shiro. So G2 win out the 2v2.
It's in a couple of those when they're going for the diffusers here, not getting them quite on top of that bomb. It would have made the pick there a little bit easier or something to play around, but not the end of the world. There is enough money for Gambit to muster yet another buy. Emissions, indeed. 2 MP9s, 2 M4s, the AWP for Shiro again. Can they respond immediately? That's the question. As over towards B they go once more. Early flash out. Axel jumps up and immediately takes down Hunter.
How does he keep getting away with this? Double from Axel. Just immediately twists the knife back on G2. They just were celebrating 5 seconds ago, and now two of them silenced. Amanek's been the victim of that multiple times. And that smoke, just from the sound alone, Nexa knows he's close. That's an underhand jobby.
Exchange some nades there as well. Nex is on the receiving end of more damage. He's down to 63.
Now, they overcame the man disadvantage before. They did it with style.
Oh, that landed right on the feet of Hobbit.
Yeah, he's been forced out. Axel to back up Hobbit. But Jax has done well to it. He's forced their hand. Oh, that was a chance for Nexa. He'd have loved that frag onto Nafany. And Nico in pursuit of an opener onto B. Got 45 seconds. He's absolutely not in any rush. Wants to see if Gambit will give him just an inch. That not far off the mark. He's playing with fire. His Axile just on the rampy elevated position. Look at him go. He started this round. He could very well close it on his own. Does manage to inflict another dink. And Jax comes alive. The 10 HP warrior shouldn't have any more. Hard tap, hard fight. Nex is looking the wrong way. Will go down. And Gambit right back into control.
Oof, good job there to take down 3 players. That's going to make the investment for Gambit pretty difficult, but you have to give credit to Axel there. He currently has 8 kills to his name. He is leading the server, and he locked down that B bomb site against that early onslaught. The initial wave that came on through just jumps up, little pirouette, grabs 2 quick frags. Here you goes. There's the highlight. Look at this. Back again, off the flash. His kid wants to keep on fighting, and that one impressed me the most because Nico's tagged him, put him on notice. I know where you are. Not going to stop him. Stands up, delivers 3 huge kills, and puts G2 down to these pistols. Nice little nade there from Shiro. Bowl that one forward. Hunter cops the lion's share of damage, down to 12 HP.
First chance to see what the A defense feels like. All too easy. Molly forces Nex's hand. And there's 2. A little worse for wear, but he's got plenty of teammates to do the rest of the lifting for him. Nade onto Jax. Softens him up.
I think Jax has taken 3 nades in this round. That early one did 12 damage, and now he's copped a little bit more to put him to 55. Anything that G2 can get out of this round would be great, considering how things have kicked on off. Jax, more utility damage, down to 46. He'd love an opportunity to shoot someone, I'm sure.
Just stop throwing stuff at me and peek me.
Are they actually going to pivot back over towards Axel here? He still is at this B site.
It's very hard to feel confident taking those fights after his demonstration of just how capable he is. And he's got that perfect weapon as well. We saw how the AUG worked in the first gun round, and nice
Oh my
shot
God!
Again. Jax has just got the wrist for it.
It's like, it's a magnet for the headshots there. That is wild. Now, this is going to have its logical conclusion unless Nico does something special.
Highest rated player in the tournament.
Yeah.
Highest rated player in the tournament, Chad. Shouldn't be anything. Axel doesn't seem to make any mistakes so far here on Vertigo, and he's a very big component of their victory. You can see 10 kills in just 6 rounds of play. I'm not sure if his ADR's bugged, but that looks about right.
So it's 180.
It makes about sense,
right
doesn't
now.
it? Yeah.
And Halbert has 9 kills, so he's quietly chugging along too. And this will force a timeout out of G2 just to discuss that next gun round. What are we going to be looking to aim for here? Now, the fact that they went B in one round and then went B the next round and were unable to get away with it, that stops the conditioning. Because the idea is we want to force them to play 2 players heavy B, or maybe leave a gap middle, or A is a little bit more susceptible, right? It's about causing weakness on other side of the maps before you go back to this A execute simulator. They haven't been able to do that. So at this point, Gambit stay in the driving seat.
Have they tried to do that? Oh, you haven't been able to force the second seating.
Because if they got it 2 in a row, that would force the hand of Gambit.
Right.
They have to respect the B executes. They either have to go more aggressive towards that lobby position, they have to go for pushes somewhere else, they have to make another bomb site weaker, but they didn't get away with it.
No, because Axel decided he was just going to fight you right there on the mantle and get himself a double. And this is another example of why Axel has single-handedly not enabled the G2 conditioning towards that B site. Gambit happy to just call upon Axel's solo hold for now. Enables them to have this many numbers here to receive on the A side of the map. Now, G2 are trying something a little different.
Yeah, that Molotov isn't going to buy as much time as I think Intis was hoping for because they're very close. It subsides now and they can creep out for free. There are no eyes on middle whatsoever, and Intis has the worst weapon to deal with this unless they waterfall over the top. He can't peek this.
No, and this is the smoke I was talking about on Elevator's side. Good damage. Softens him up for Inter's MP9. He's sitting anti-flash, does go down, as does Axile. B is open for business, Chad. And this is Gambit we're talking about. I think they might just have to concede. Orbit, gonna roam around.